All right, everybody, welcome back to Acolyte After Hours. I've got my Tatooine sunset here. I'll post the I'll post it here a little bit, but first I want to dive in. I'm flabbergasted by what we've just watched. I'm glad I'm not having to talk about it alone. So first, I'm going to bring on our first guest, someone you guys have heard before. Welcome, Brandon.
What's up? What's up? Thanks
How
for
you
having me.
feeling? Yeah, how you
Man,
feeling right now?
I don't know. I really don't know. I feel like I said before, it was a little dusty. I don't know what to expect really, but I mean, we're gonna talk about it, which I'm really glad because now I can get some other ideas, bounce them off of each other.
Yeah, it'll
Uh,
be good.
Man,
And we have a new one to the show. Here we go. Everybody, meet Mailman Mike. Mike,
Hi,
how are
everybody.
you?
Doing great. Doing great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, man.
Absolutely.
All right. Mike, how you feeling about this episode?
Just wow. Uh, Started off with a lot of action, which I was looking forward to, but I mean, there's a lot.
Yeah. So, man. Yeah, I'm kind of like, what is happening? Like what did we just watch? But so people that don't know, we're going to go into full spoilers. We're going to dive into this. We may not go in any kind of order. Jack and I will typically do that on Thursdays, but we're going to dive into episode 5, titled "Night," which I think we all knew it was going to be titled "Night" after episode 4 being "Day." Directed by Alex Garcia Lopez, written by Cor Adana and Cameron Squires, which I thought was a little bit weird because last week one of the writers from the last week's show was defending it, saying that they had written it all in one piece, but maybe they just meant like the writers' room had written it all in one piece, because they said it was a continuation because people were mad about the cliffhanger. But we're gonna dive into this, gentlemen. If I forget anything, if you want to spend a little bit more time on stuff, let me know. People in the chat, if you're there, let us know if you have questions or thoughts. But wow, I
Yeah.
mean, I think this is what um, everybody thought the show was probably going to be. I don't know. You know, you can talk about the Sith and Kill Bill and all this kind of stuff, and you're like, okay. But let's just start from the beginning. Um, like you said, it kind of opens up with Osha laying on the ground. She's like coming to or whatever, and she hears fighting and she sees that Jedi dead. And I'm like, all right, one of the red shirts is gone. That makes sense,
yeah,
right? And then we see other stuff, and then they kind of rise up, and is that a handprint in red, that red dust, or is it just like the way he pushed everybody?
I think it was how
You
he
see
pushed
that?
everybody. The
that's what I
spread.
was thinking too.
Jedi Knight Lex is here. She says 9.5 out of 10.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a good one. So,
It's a
uh,
banger.
and then of course the fight scene. We can just dive into this fight scene. The first thing I have written down is helmet of Beskar. What is that helmet, man? That was
Right.
so cool.
Oh
I'm sure
yeah.
I'm sure everyone's going to complain that we've never seen anything like this in Star Wars before, and how dare they add something to the canon. But what do you guys feel about the use of that helmet? And I mean, it's almost Magneto-esque because later on in the episode he says like, "Take off your." Soul says, "Take off your helmet," and he's like, "Why? So I can expose my thoughts to you." So I thought my first instinct was Magneto.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but what do you guys think of the helmet? Like, let's just dive into that.
I thought the helmet and armor. I like the look of the helmet. I think it looks really cool. And everybody says about Smilo Ren and whatnot, the way it kind of weird looking, but I dig it. But just the like the way the helmet and his armor disrupted the lightsabers. I've never seen anything like that. That was kind of cool.
Yeah, I liked it. What about you, Brandon?
Yeah, I like the look of it too. I like I'm hoping somehow he's connected to the Ren of some sort. That's just kind of what this helmet's looking like. But I was actually on Instagram and Retney's holocron actually said uh cortosis is a metal that had a very high energy absorption rate and transmission coefficients, which allows the energy of a blaster bolt to be dis- dissipated upon contact. One of the strongest minerals in the galaxy, cortosis could even withstand a blow of a lightsaber and briefly short out its blade. So I thought that was really, really
Is
cool
that
because
from
I've actually
is
never
that
heard
from
of it.
Legends?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I
That's
thought
what
that
I'm.
was really cool.
Yeah, like they so many callbacks. Now there are some issues, like we'll get into like the Kiadi Mundi of it all, but I just so by my count, all the fighting's happening. What do you guys think of the fighting? Like one of the things that I remember Leslie Headland said, I don't know if it was a celebration or not, but she said one of her biggest inspirations and the things that she remembers the most is the Geonosis scene in Attack of the Clones and all those lightsabers in that big battle, and she wanted to bring that to the screen. So, just thinking of that battle as a whole, is this? I mean, where is this rank for you guys in lightsaber duels, not duels, battles? I mean, I know it's a tough one to top, but what do you think?
It's what we've been waiting for, right? I mean, ever since you saw the trailers, all the lightsabers light up. The big badass battle. I mean, that was it. It was really cool. I mean, I really dug when he stabbed that one Jedi and then used that force pull and put the other one up. Oh, that was
Man.
And then the nice cut with the camera as he beheads him behind the tree. So
Jedi kebabs.
That's cool.
Oh yeah, man, those are so tight. Because I knew once they like zoomed in on the Jedi like impaled with the lightsaber, I was like, oh, he's about to force pull, and of course that did happen. But man, I was like I've told you, Jimmy, huge horror guy. I love everything, but when Chimere looked at Soul and just did the like Michael Myers head tilt, I was no. I was like, man, get out of here. So I already got the chills, getting the chills again. But when spoiler warning, of course, but when Jackie went, that execution right there, that was cold. Just a boom, 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 just a little 3-piece.
I couldn't believe it.
No,
like a prison shanking, like done.
Right.
Man, like so tight.
Yeah. So Jedi Lex says Chimere is predictable. Yeah, it was predictable, unfortunately. But Buddy played a badass Sith. I was a big fan of how he played a Sith, and Buddy was hella yoked. Yeah, he was jacked.
Oh yeah.
In the bees diesel as he was, because I was like, man, like he seems kind of small the way they kind of kept him covered. But I mean, they purposely kept his body covered, and I haven't seen him in anything since The Good Place. So,
and that was we had talked before about. I told you I didn't think it was Chimere. I thought it was someone else. But then when the battle started and you saw that jacked up arm, I'm like, oh, dude, that's dude. It's not. Who was I thinking it was? The mother.
Coral.
Yeah, Mother Coral.
Dude, like, me too.
Coral's got arms like that.
Yeah, that was the theory debunking right there. I was like, man, she's got some forearms.
Cody, we're gonna come back to your question. I just want to bring this up, guys. We have officially made it, gentlemen. We're Disney shills. Woo!
Man, I will expect my payments anytime
Disney.
now.
Yes, we're sounding like shills. Thanks, SB. I won't
like
so. All right, congratulations, fellas. This is why I got into it. I wanted to be a shill.
If you guys would love to be a shill, make sure you say you like Star Wars. That's all you got to do. Just say you like Star Wars, and you can be one of us.
So, man, soy boys now. Oh man, let's go. Let's bring the hate. I feel it. I love it. So, what's that one say? Oh, here we go. Everyone has to kiss his ass. Okay. All right. Well, thanks for the directions. Appreciate it. So, anyways, Cody Hutton says, who would have Master been for Chimere? That's a good question. I think that no, now he's getting saucy. All right.
Someone's upset.
Yeah, they're sad. Dude, if you don't like the show, then why are you watching an episode of? So anyways, but who was his master? Like, I know that we don't really have Plagueis kind of in canon, right? We talked about, and that's the thing too, is like even in canon, he says, Palpatine never says my master. He says the legend of Plagueis the Wise. He never says my master. Right. So there's some wiggle room. Now, of course, Plagueis the book is phenomenal, maybe one of the best books. But what would Sith Lord around that time? What we're thinking, Tenebris or Plagueis?
Man, I'd probably lean more Tenebrous, to be fair.
Yeah, really not my area of expertise. This is for you guys.
I feel like
Well, we
it's just a little too early, or it's still a little too early for Plagueis. I feel, but I mean, who knows? Who knows? It could be Plagueis could have just came later, maybe. I'm not sure,
yeah.
or even Tenebrous. Maybe we're still a little.
I mean,
I don't
technically,
know.
they can do whatever they want with it as long as as long as it lines up to what they say in that. Duck 1222 says Black Mom is the master, so Mother Anastasia possibly. We've got Jedi Lex says, kind of wonder if Koro is his master, as there was a comment made about him being able to get into their heads and stay there. And she's like, my mother could do that. Interesting. All right. So, and Cody said, well, what's Sith Lord? If according to, like the legend stuff, Cody would be either Tenebrous or Plagueis, probably. I think and leaning more towards Tenebrous, the Bith.
Yeah.
Village says that Vernestra Rowe is the master. So, oh man, can you guys see the quotes? Can you guys see the stuff they're writing? It's awesome.
Yes.
I don't see what you put
I'm not
up.
going to put all this up there because this is kind of a family show. But this guy is not a fan of us. We'll just say that. So,
He knows he can turn it off, right?
Yeah, he says he enjoys making. There's his answer to my question why he's watching.
Cool.
Enjoy making fun.
Enjoy it too.
Yeah.
Oh man, I hate Star Wars.
Again, get made fun of would be great.
Just say you hate Star Wars.
Yeah. Anyway, so I'm thinking that's who we got. We got Tenebrous or we got Plagueis, but we'll find out. I feel like Jedi Lex to the rescue. Attention seeker. Yeah, Jedi Lex, I think you're probably right. But anyways, let's get back into the show. Five dead Jedi. I'm like, okay, this is what we all kind of predicted. The red shirts are going to die. And if you don't get the red shirt comment, it's a Star Trek thing. So who we got? So Chimera can heal. Yeah, we'll talk about that. I have that written down. We'll talk about who all died. Oh, damn near everybody, if we're being honest. So let's just talk about that. We might as well, and then we can talk about a few of these other things. But they kill all 5 of those Jedi. And I mean, I'm not stunned that they're all dead, but Jackie, man, I'm having some emotions right now. Like,
didn't really see that one coming.
No.
Yeah, I'm kind of stunned, and I was like, okay, well, they got us, they got our attention, and then Yord,
man, my light skinned king. That hurts, man. Tony from Star Wars Sith was talking about him on his live stream, and I'm like, hey, I can't wait to see my boy Yord next week. And he's like, I bet you're gonna get his Funko Pop, aren't you? I'm like, hell yeah.
Yeah. So, man, and so let's go back. We got so I put taser didn't work. What WTF? Like, what's this guy made out of? They hit him with sabers, they hit him with other things, and but then did the trees fall the wrong way? Did you see the? We go back and rewatch this. I probably wouldn't have picked that out on my own.
Yeah, but, I didn't pick it up. I thought it was cool how they all fell, but I really wasn't thinking about which way they should have fallen.
Yeah,
but,
so they probably would have fallen. What do you guys think? But
yeah, that was cool.
Oh man, and then we just kind of go through there, and then of course Jackie gets her fight scene. Jackie,
dude, she was throwing down.
Dang. I recently saw Daphne Keene. She's the big thing, X-23 from Logan. She's obviously young. I'm not sure how many stunts she did, but when she was a kid. But I saw something just today or yesterday of her like working out for the part, and she looked like she was flowing, like her lightsaber skills with the practice swords and stuff like that. Nice. I thought she looked pretty sick. If you would have bet me $1 million that she was going to die in this season, I guess we should have known, like, because he says something later on. So Jackie eats it, Yord eats it. And where's Yord's Padawan been since episode 1?
I know. That's kind of.
I wonder if the CGI was too much.
Yeah, I mean, she was really stiff.
Yeah.
And things like that. Let me see what Cody has something to say. I get Darth Maul vibes with Jackie and Coral characters. Yeah. You mean like coming back maybe? And then Cody also says Soul isn't who we think he is. Yeah, we'll get into that at the end here. I think
Yeah.
there's some stuff coming, but whew. So I thought the good line. So all these fight scenes. First of all, the fighting. This might be the most rewatchable episode just because of the fighting. I just want to put that on and then just watch them get after it. The action, well done for the actors and things like that. I'm just chilling out here. So, but Soul and Chimere have a conversation. And he's like, "She was a child." And I was like, "Yeah, you son of a." And then he turns around and goes, "You brought her here." And I was like, "Oh no." Like there's some valid points. I know I don't like the fact that like we are seeing some flaws in the Jedi, but I'll bring this up and you guys we can discuss that conversation. But I've talked about it before when we watched Ahsoka in this episode 5 and we see young Ahsoka on the battlefield. We see a 12, 13-year-old girl fighting these battles. You watch her in animation, it's not a big deal. Like, oh, she's an animated character, blah, blah, blah. You see her, you see a little girl, 12, 13, out there fighting lightsaber and putting herself in harm's way. I kind of started looking at the Clone Wars differently from that moment on. Like, it hasn't been the same for me since. Is this making the Jedi look bad, or is this just showing what it's really like? I mean, they're training soldiers. I mean, peacekeepers, but that's what they say the army is, and we don't train to keep the peace. We learn how to defend. And so, what did you guys think about that conversation? How do you think that this? Are we cutting down the Jedi, or are we just saying like, look, they're doing the right thing? It's not all glory. It's not all rainbows.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, as far as training Padawan and getting them involved in things, I mean, if you're a master training a Padawan, I don't think you'd bring them into a battle unless you're confident they're ready and able to handle it. Like you said, that's what they're training for. At some point, they have to be exposed to it. And it's just sad that she had to go the way she went.
Ooh.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's man, it throws you off guard, man. It's just so weird when you get attached so quick to these characters, kind of talking about like how at such a young age she's so fluent and yeah, with the Jackie side of things. But I actually like what we're seeing with the Acolyte so far because it's all a point of view. But I'm liking that we're seeing the Jedi kind of having some holes in the area because from what watching the prequels, it's just the Jedi are everything and have been everything. Mm-hmm. Original trilogy, you're like, oh, the Jedi were once a thing. Here's the reigning empire. So I think it's cool that we kind of get to see, some of those times, like the Jedi's point of view, like Anakin, that whole thing, the whole hate speech he was just saying to Anakin or to Obi-Wan during their fight on Mustafar. You kind of see some of that now. Mm-hmm. Just the ways it's corrupted in ways, and that is the beauty of Star Wars, in my opinion, is the point of view. You can see the Sith is good, Jedi is good, but this really capitalizes on that.
It's kind of like our heroes throughout history. The farther removed we get from them, they seem like these bright shining stars. But now we're going into the past and looking at them in the past and realizing that your heroes are human and they have issues too. They're not all perfect.
Right.
No, yeah. I think, I think, that's a really good point too, because I want to say the average Star Wars fan who aren't shows like we are, probably don't read as much as, all the Jedi are flawed. You can see it in the High Republic. You can see it. I mean, you can see it with the way Mace acts, Ki-Adi-Mundi's arrogance, the whole Jedi Council during the prequels. I think the show is just kind of pointing some stuff out that's always been there. But, like you said, you guys, I said, like, you sit and you take a closer look. These people are your heroes. And, I mean, you go back and you look at presidents that did a good job and things like this and the things that they'd had to do to like help our country, but they did some things that may or may not have been questionable. But then the thing is you look at the other side of it, Chimere thinks he's equally in right. Like he's like, I want to do what I want to do. What's the difference? And I think that's a good point. I don't necessarily that they're showing. I don't think they're trying to bring the Jedi down. I think it's a point of view, but it's also it's making Star Wars more realistic.
Right.
You know, like, because if they were perfect and never made any mistakes, like that's one of the reasons I stopped reading the Thrawn books. Was he never made any mistakes? He always just had everything planned. I'm like, well, this is kind of boring because no matter what happens, he's going to like solve the problem. He's like, Space Sherlock Holmes or whatever. But yeah, I just, kind of flabbergasted by it. I can't wait. And this is always the thing about this is we hop on here 15 minutes after just having our hearts and guts ripped out and trying to talk about it, make sense of it. Yord, of course, goes, how about the violence with Yord? Like, whoa. I mean, I was pretty jacked up about what Vader did in Kenobi, but this might be the most brutal I think I've seen on.
I think the kid in Kenobi, it's just because it was a kid and you're like, oh man, kind of just like, did that really just happen? I felt like, I mean, I don't know how you guys listened to the this episode, but like we always use the sound bar and I always put it on high volume when we're watching new episodes or rewatching any Star Wars. And dude, there's a loud crack on that scene. So I was like, man, that was brutal. And my wife was just like, they're just killing everyone. Like this is so sad, and it's like, yeah, this shit is sad right now. It's not a good time.
No. How did that make you feel? Like I felt a little like hopeless. They're all getting wiped out. I mean, I know they're building up Chimera to be this threat, and anyone who was, and we'll get into him in a second here because he does say some things that I'm a little bit concerned about. But I mean, I felt hopeless. I felt defeated as a fan watching. I was like, oh my god, like, are they all going to go? Like, are they going to kill Soul here too? And this show is going to go some crazy way the next 3 episodes. How did you guys feel? Like, so yours is like the last one to go. I mean, just like I said, I felt like, whoa, man, like I can't believe that just happened. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
So,
I was hoping Yord was going to get some redemption because, when Soul told him to take Osha back to the ship, it's, rule following. He's just going to do what he's told to do. He's not going to step up and, do the right thing and, help Master Soul. And maybe they can beat this guy. He's just going to follow orders and go away. And then they realized now they've got to head back and maybe Yord got a chance to be a hero, step out from the rule following guy. And then, no, that's it for him.
Man. Yeah.
Cody Hutton is asking, I'm going to clarify for him real quick. I just got lost. Who is Chimera? Chimera is the Sith, the guy who says, well, he technically says, I have no name, but you would call me Sith. And that's the guy, the bumbling idiot that's helping May early in the season, the one that was hanging from the tree, if you've watched the other episodes. But, I mean, I guess I thought he was going to be the Acolyte. I didn't think it was going to be May or Osha. So, I mean, my theories are a little bit off, but so hopefully that clears it up. But so let's just talk about that. I have no name. Who are you? What are you? And he's like, I have no name. I was really hoping he was going to say some kind of Knights of Ren or just something. Because now we are kind of running into, he goes, but you would call me Sith. So that means one of two things. Ki-Adi-Mundi lied or Soul's getting taken out before Soul's not making it through the season. Right? I mean, if they're going to keep canon, and I know all those people out there, including our new buddy SB, thinks that Leslie Headland can't even read you some of the stuff he said, but I know he is the Sith, but where and when is he in Star Wars timeline? Oh, well, this is what 100 years before the Empire. So it's said 100 years before the Empire. All this is new. So, but I just lost my train of thought. What did I just
see? That's kind of like a thing here is like, not knowing what he is yet. And it's like, I just don't understand how people are just bashing on it with only 5. Like the story's not even done being told yet. Like let it all come out. That way you can understand these characters a little more, understand what their motives are or their end goal. Basically, like I know people don't like Yord because he's too by the book. I mean, that's how Obi-Wan was in the Phantom Menace right at the beginning, and that definitely got in his way. But then of course Yord goes out and it's just like, damn it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I don't know. I'm excited to see who Chimera is though too.
Yeah.
How does this whole situation get wrapped up? Like, I honestly, I know people. This is where I was at. People think that Headland doesn't know what she's talking about, but she's pulling all this stuff in from different places. She's not an idiot. She knows what Mundi said.
Mm.
Like, is that
Yeah.
is that foreshadowing the fact that Soul's not making it out of this? No one's making it out. He disappears. I mean, what do you guys? If I said $1 million, now remember I would have lost $1 million last week. And I would have said, there's no way Jackie dies, man. But so I'm not going to hold you to this. But does Soul make it out of this season?
I'd have to say no.
No.
I don't know I don't really know how to back that up, but yeah, I think more is going to come out about him, that something bad happened, and with them witches, and and I don't know how we're going to feel when he goes. I guess it depends on how he goes and what else is revealed. But yeah, my money's on he doesn't make it through.
Yeah, I kind of feel like there's really not an option. But Brandon, I see you shaking your head.
Yeah, I don't think there's an option either. That just plain and simple. Could be wrong though. I mean, I thought it was Mother Coral this whole time. I'm already wrong.
Yeah.
So I have no idea what to expect, and I think that's what's fun about getting your own predictions and not being wrong let it affect your outtake on the show, because now I'm like, okay, what's really gonna go on? But yeah, this is Leslie. I mean, are they really just giving the job to anyone just to write a story? I mean, you got to know at least a little something. I mean, actors coming into this is a little different if they don't watch, Clone Wars and they're playing a Clone Wars extended character. This is different. Leslie Headland wrote this story, and I've seen a lot of things that Dave Filoni has been in on the writing as well. There's a lot of things that are, things get passed through that Lucasfilm house. So, I mean, I think everything is going in a good way right now. So I need more.
Can't keep screaming about them breaking canon and things like that until the story's all told. Once we have the whole story, then maybe we can complain about those sort of things. But we don't know where this is going to go yet.
Well, we're Disney show, so we won't.
That's right.
That kind of brings me right into my next point. What is Soul hiding? I think they established a new Jedi code in that flashback where it's witches get stitches. So, there's an exchange between May and Osha, and she's like, they've brainwashed you. Like she's so confused by the fact that Osha thinks that like the Jedi are good. I mean, my instinct is like, there's still a scene that we haven't seen, someone running up that wall, trying to sneak in and all these things. Do we think that, I mean, I know what I think. What do you guys think happened? And when do we find out? Because Koga Nada, the guy who directed episode 3, the flashback, is also directing episode 7. So we'd have one more before we got to that. Like maybe they let him stay in that area. But what do you guys think happened? I mean, it had to be something severe, right? Kalnaka bounced. Torben takes his own life. Like this stuff is not just for the lighthearted.
Yeah. I have a hard time imagining what happened. I just know it couldn't have been good. Like you said, Jedi's taking their lives and, going into seclusion and all this, like it's something bad. I mean, it seems Indira and Soul were the only ones that found a way to handle it and move on. But it can't be good.
And Indira seemed like she was just a hardcore kind of big time B, like, ugh, whatever. Like I did what I'm supposed to do. Like she had no, I know we only with her for a short amount of time before she gets that tiny knife to the heart that could not have possibly killed her. But
plus the episode where we got the most out of her too seemed like more through Osha's eyes. So we don't know if that's how she really is, or hard to say.
Yeah. What about you, Brandon? What do you think?
I don't know. It's tough. I think Lindsay actually just texted me. Is like, I think it's all from guilt. So obviously there's something going on with Soul, and she has the idea that he's going to do a sacrifice. So maybe he tells the truth to Osha, who is now May, unless Basil sniffs it out, lets Soul know. Or he just looks and sees the marking between her bangs, maybe. Because, I mean, it sticks out now
and
that she cut the hair. Yes, and that too. Which was so weird because when Osha rolled over, you could see the tattoo, and then Chimere is just like uh just acting like everything's fine, like it's just her, So I don't know, but man, I loved Squid Games. We talked about it, so I love Lee Jung Jae. I love what he's doing so far with the Acolyte, but I think he's just one of those characters that you want to love, and I feel like we're just gonna get something so heartbreaking that either something he did to where we're even us as fans, we're like, oh no. So that's just gonna rip your heart out, and then maybe he does sacrifice himself, or he has to let it go with the guilt, or sacrifices himself in a different way, maybe to save Osha or save May, because she's actually the one that should have been redeemed or saved that night of the fire. Like there's that episode 7 that you're talking about. I feel like that's going to answer almost every question.
Yeah.
Getting that third eye of what's actually went down.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you guys are probably onto something. He's going to tell May, well, he thinks is Osha, but he's going to tell May the truth. It's going to be awful, I think. And then we're going to get some kind of sacrifice, because I don't think they're making it back, because we still have that scene with Vernestra out looking for him and all that stuff. And I don't think they're making it back to Coruscant ever. Like, I think this is all going to happen off screen, or not off screen, but off world. And I think that's how they keep the whole Sith thing. Because if he only ever tells him he's a Sith, and then they deal with this prior to the show ending, and that would, keep Ki-Adi-Mundi from being a liar, I guess. But yeah, I know people would hate this show, and I know we're Disney shills now, but I think they're doing a good job. Last week's cliffhanger kind of sucked. I was like, damn it. Yeah. They should have probably just gave us 50 minutes of solid, just crushing it. But let's go next week. Like, I'm already looking forward to seeing, like, how is this going to play out. Now she's on there. You got Basil running around the ship, sniffing away, a little weasel. And he's going to like that's not Pip. And then thank goodness Pip lived. That was a nasty trick by Osha. We got a force heal. How do we feel about that? Man, Anakin's got to be pissed. Everyone can do it but him.
It's retconning everything that George ever wrote. It's so stupid.
Ruining Star Wars.
I like that. I thought with the way I want this to connect with like the Ren, like the first, and especially with Chimere talking about we and what we are, all of that. Even that force heal kind of reminded me of Rey with Kylo Ren healing him back up. So I was like, maybe this is on the right track, and just kind of a little teaser or a call through. But yeah, I liked it. It was cool.
What about you, Mike?
Yeah, not much to add there. I mean,
yeah, kind of feel like if you've read the Dark Disciple book, where they're taking the life force out of things, and there's ways to explain this where he wasn't doing it naturally. He could be taking the force from something else and putting it into someone else. Like, just some writing things here and there that I'm sure will get clarified. But then we get the Parent Trap. She shows up on the ship, everything like that. But yeah, I don't know this. And then the sisters. Okay, let's talk about the that dynamic, man. I'm not a sister. I know that relationship can probably be a little rough, sisters and stuff like that. But May is May driven by love of her sister? Because, like, the last time we see those two together, she's like, I'm going to kill you. And she starts a fire trying to kill her. And now she's, from what we probably understand, is she has joined this Sith or whatever he is, and is on vengeance because of her sister. Sorry. And now she's like, I love you. Let's be friends. Let's we're together. We survived. And then Osha's like, nah, I'm gonna arrest your ass.
Yeah.
Like, Osha seems kind of mean, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, that's just, she's trying to do her Jedi thing, because I still think she was bummed that they didn't let her back in the Jedi Order right there before they left for Kofar. But what do we think about the sisters? Like, the whole dynamic between the two of them, I think, is odd, because we saw splashes of it. Because, I mean, even in episode 4, Osha's like, Yord, you get the opportunity to take out my sister. And then May's like giving everything up, and willing, putting her life on the line because now her sister's alive. So how do we feel about this dynamic?
It was odd, like you said, like just the back and forth there, the way they changed perspective there as they were meeting up. I don't know. I keep going back to too, like that the episode where we got the most out of the girls, when they were together as youngsters. It seemed to me like that was all from OSHA's perspective, and it's all skewed. So it's hard to really take anything from that episode because I don't think it's the truth. So it's really, I don't know. It's hard to really feel out that dynamic and see, what it would be.
Yeah, I think so too. It's I feel like we're at this point in time, it's hard to tell what it could turn into, because I mean they've had this 15 years where they haven't even spoke to each other. So it's weird, but I do like the Force dyad that they are as well, because that's cool, because that's how Rey and Kylo Ren could talk to each other and visually see each other without them being there. Yes. So it's just it's cool how that that is really cool how they can just show that again in a different way. I mean I hope next week is where we see Vernestra looking for everybody, pulls out the lightsaber whip. I mean, that's a whole conversation in itself, like what that could be, like what's actually going on in that scene. But yeah, I like that dynamic, but I'm still quite uncertain where it's going between the sisters.
Yeah, for sure. So
I also had a thought, like, okay, what if they do leave together, like the sisters? Maybe they go and like create the Night Sisters. Like, how cool would that have been? Because I'm not too sure of their origin and how it started, but it would just kind of be like a different adaptation of witches, and either using the Force, the thread, or like dark side. It's just a cool thing.
yeah, some definitely could have brought the Coven back or whatever they wanted to do. They seemed too powerful just to be chilling and throwing some Force pushes, the way they were doing it at the Coven. Like May's pretty badass. So all right, let's go overall feelings for the episode. What are you gonna give it out of 10 pips? Where are we at? Are we still loving the show? Are we excited for next week?
I'm certainly excited. I mean, week to week, the show's got me. I'm enjoying it. Plenty of conjecture, and never know what's gonna go this way or that way. We all have our ideas of how things are going to go, and then they're blown up the next week. So I'm loving it. It's great, and all the action in this episode, what we were looking for, the big lightsaber battle and stuff. It had a lot of good things. I give it a 8.5, I'd say.
Very nice.
It's a good take. I'm liking everything I see. I think it's different than Mandalorian, where it's like, okay, he's in a bind here, but then he gets out. Or it's like when you watch an episode of Rebel or a season of Rebels, it's like, oh, they're in this huge predicament. End of the episode, they're off back in the Ghost, they fly away. But the Acolyte, obviously, you just have no idea what to expect. I feel like it pulls on you each episode, and then it lets you go out further, and you think what's going to happen, and then it yanks you right back. I think it's just that level of writing, and I know I'm a shill and everything, but it's just I just think it's really good, and I don't know if it's because I'm just expecting it to be good. I'm going into it real happy from like the previous episodes, but yeah, I'd give it a 9 out of 10. I think the only thing that takes it off for me from being perfect is just me expecting that the Sith was like Mother Coral. But at the same time, I think
that and your boy Yor dying, like that's
dude. I even forgot about that almost.
Sorry to bring it up.
But it's just, yeah, man, I think it's really good. But I mean, also you get the cool ass scene right off the gate where it's like you hear the lightsabers humming in the background, and you're like, oh shit, what is she about to wake up to? And they're just that sequence of them just going back and forth with the lightsabers, and I'm like, it is like 6-on-1 right now, and he's just going through them. The impact and the kill scenes, like the impaling two with one blade, making the lightsaber go in half, and then going crazy with two, and then the little 3-piece with a biscuit combo that he gave Jackie. Come on, dude, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
too, I don't know if Leslie Headland did this on purpose to shout out to Ahsoka, but the way she held the lightsabers and just was going ham, that reminded me of like a young Ahsoka.
Yeah.
And especially with the two green lightsabers, that was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe it's why I got attached to Jackie there, and we were getting kind of getting Ahsoka vibes from her. But yeah, I agree with everything you guys said. That's just storytelling. And I know, and I think we've talked about this before, Brandon. We talked about it on your show. Mike and I are old enough to know, like, we watch shows week to week. The story took 23 episodes to tell a story, and then you had a 3-month break in the summer. Like, we're fine with like letting the story develop. I do think binging has ruined some stuff. I will say, even though I'm a Disney show and I'll probably lose a little bit of money for this, 4 and 5 should have been one episode. This should have been one big episode. This should have been
I agree with you there. Yeah.
Massive episode. There were a few things with some of the choreography. It looked like they sped things up. It looked a little unnatural to me. But overall, this is what I wanted to see in this show. Going all the way back to Celebration last year in London, and seeing all those lightsabers come out. That's how they ended the scene, is all that. That's what I've been wanting to see. I hope this is episode 5. We're building, we got 3 more episodes to build to another big action scene. But yeah, I'm super disappointed in some of the deaths. It's going to take me a minute. I think I'm going to be I'm a little torn up about it, but that's good storytelling. No one's safe. That gives the show some stakes. But yeah, I probably give it an 8, 8.5. I think is probably my favorite episode so far, but I can't wait for next week. It just seems like it's like, bam, like every time I just want more. I get wanting it all, but it is nice to be able to sit back. I'm going to go upstairs.
The anticipation's good.
Yeah.
Really
good. That has turned into giving people time to like just spew hate and anger, which is unfortunate that we're not letting this drive. I will be curious.
You can do that, or you can do what you guys do, and positivity, and just enjoy it and talk about it. Much better than hate.
Yeah. And I'm concerned about the fact that he did call himself a Sith in a way. Like, he didn't come out and say I'm a Sith, but there are some storylines. But we have 3 episodes of this season. Who knows how many, if we're getting another season or not, for that all to work itself out. So I'm not going to freak out. Like Mike, like you said earlier, when the season's over and things in canon are all screwed up, and we don't have a season 2, or we do have, if we're not getting a season 2 or whatever, this is a one and done or whatever, then I will be like, hey, this is kind of messed up, but I screwed this up. But until it's over, I'm going to hold my tongue, and I'll just wait. But all right. Well, fellas, I want to thank you guys both for coming on. Mike, awesome first time on the show. Let's make this happen more often.
Love to.
See you. Plus, we need to do it before the Steelers season starts, being we'll be in bad moods most likely. Hopefully, we're doing good.
Absolutely.
Brandon's a big Denver fan, so we know he's paying on quarterback's bill. But
maybe my bill money will help dish out a good. I don't know. We'll see what happens. You guys got Justin Fields. You got a good backup.
We'll see.
We usually finish off with a quote. So, Brandon, I'll let you go first.
Man, I'm gonna keep it nice and simple, like a bantha.
Mike, what do you got for us?
Oh, I knew you were gonna ask, so I looked one up. I lost my way for a long time, but now I have a chance to change things.
Very nice.
Kanan
Who
Jarrus.
said that?
Kanan, nice.
Kanan. Oh, there we go. That's kind of good with Soul, right? He's kind of lost his way. He's going to make things up. Very nice.
Yeah.
And for all of us, again, fellas, thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining me in the Disney Shield'em. I'm super excited to finally have made it. That is the first time I've been called a shill, and I'm super pumped.
Can't wait for the checks.
For all of us and for Disney, we have spoken. We'll see you guys next week.
See y'all later.